Hello guys, welcome back to the channel. This is the video that everyone has been asking for a long time. Finally got to it. I've been with my McLaren 570 GT, the 2017 model, for now 8 months. And here I'm gonna talk to you about the top 5 things that I like about the car and the 5 things that I dislike. Again, I don't dislike many things. I still love the car, but it's worth going through that list and give you some of my first impressions. Hopefully you'll get your comments down below and tell me, what you think about the car. So let's get on with it. Alright guys, so the number one thing I like the most about the 570 GT is the design. I've said it in previous videos. I think it's sexy. I love the curves. It's the car that I think looks the most to the McLaren P1. If you can see the design in the back, the tail lights, the exhaust. I mean, it looks like a junior P1, and it's one of the things I like the most. The P1 being probably my favorite sports car of all time, and I think it's timeless in the fact that this is a car that is a 2017 model, but it could easily be a 2021 model. It still looks exotic everywhere I take it. Obviously the Lambo doors are a big part of the appeal. Once you see those doors going up, immediately people pay attention, and I think that's a great design feature from McLaren's. I've always loved it, and I think it makes such a difference. So this design, again, is probably my number one thing. The aero is unbelievable in the driving experience. I mean, it feels like there's no wind resistance. It's just amazing. So that's my number one thing, the car design. So the second thing I like the most about my McLaren is the driving experience. I think it's a very fast car. It's less than 3.5 seconds 0 to 60. It accelerates, clinically. That's the way I would describe it. There's not much drama or noise, but it's like clinical. It like cuts through the wind. The aerodynamics are amazing, and it's an experience when you're in the freeway. I definitely love the driving modes. You can put it in track, sport, or normal, and the shifting is super quick. It's probably the car that I've had that shifted so quickly. I remember the Jaguar F-Type I had before this, and it was quick, and but it was dramatic. There was a lot of noise, and from the engine, from the exhaust. You don't get that here. It's like I said, it's more clinical. Just put it in active and then select the mode, and there you go, you're in manual. And then downshifting is great, the sound it makes. A few pops here and there, but not very dramatic. Like I said, it's got the sport exhaust from factory, but a lot of people, they put an aftermarket exhaust, and that's something I'm thinking about. Maybe doing that at some point, but let's just try the shifting now. Yeah, it's just great. The The handling is amazing. I think it's so low to the ground that and so aerodynamic. There's a lot of downforce, and that makes for incredible handling. It doesn't have the best turn ratio, honestly, but handling on like windy roads and on the freeways, it's an amazing experience. If I compare to other cars I've had in the past, like the Porsche Cayman, that was probably my best handling car ever. It cornered like it was on rails. This is very close. I won't say it's the same experience. It's let's say a wider, bigger car in a way than the Cayman. At least the Cayman back then. But yeah, but it handles incredibly. In terms of the ride, it's not soft, although this is the GT and it's got like 15% softer suspension than the S, because it's meant for daily driving. I wouldn't say it's soft. I would say it's perfect, right? It's hard enough so that you feel sporty, and definitely it's a car that you can drive every day, no problem there. It's very smooth shifting when you're in normal, and it's very quick shifting if you're in sport or track. I haven't tracked the car yet. It's something I have planned, and with the extended warranty that I got on the car, I can actually track it. I will probably have to pre-inspect it before tracking it and then doing a post-inspection, but at least you can do it and not mess up with the warranty. And this car is meant to be driven on the track, definitely, so it's something I'm looking forward to at some point. The cabin is pretty quiet for a car like this. I was probably expecting a lot more cabin noise, but no, it's super quiet. And I mean, you can listen to music. The entertainment system is great. The Iris system, I have no complaints. I just pair it Bluetooth with my phone, and I can hear Spotify or whatever I want. And the sound system is the Powers and Wilkins, so it's just great. I mean, so the car is meant to be driven daily or driven in long trips. I haven't done that yet, but I don't see why that could be an issue. So my third favorite thing in this car is the cockpit, the cabin. I love the instrument cluster. It's super clear, that screen. It's got everything you need, but it's not overtaking. The steering wheel, again, not as thick maybe as you will find in Porsche and Lamborghini, but it's small enough, and it's great. It's got carbon fiber details, and there's a great mix of materials here between the red leather and the black leather and the Alcantara, and then with the carbon fiber in different parts of the cabin. I think it's fantastic. The entertainment system is great. It's simple to use. Some people have had problems, I read, but I haven't had any issues yet. The sound system is unbelievable. Powers and Wilkins, BMW, great British brand of audio equipment. Yeah, the materials, like I said, are great. The placement of the controls, easy to use. They feel good to the hand, and the visibility is unbelievable. I mean, look at this. It's got glass ceiling, and it feels very open. I think they try to mimic the cockpit of a fighter jet, and definitely it works. When you drive it on the freeway, you can see everything around you, and that just adds to the experience of driving this car. So the cockpit is probably one of my favorite things. It's always been, and I really enjoy it. So the number four thing I like the most about the 570 GT is how practical it is. This is a car that was meant to be the sports car for McLaren that you could take into the city, drive it every day to London, as they say. And I think it's got great storage. I'm gonna show you just the front storage and the back storage. You can easily go on a trip, look at, you can put two bags in there. It's very convenient for me when I take my photographic equipment and video equipment if I'm gonna film the car. Great storage. I mean, you can take this to a ski trip, definitely. I don't know, you might have to rent the skis, but and then in the back, this window, it opens, and then you got additional storage in there, which is great. You can put golf clubs, additional bags in there. You can tie a few things. It's covered in leather, so and then some forged carbon here, which looks amazing. So this is very practical, and it's one of the great features of the car. The car is also very comfortable. The right suspension is great. I think they softened it by 15% on the GT versus the S. Not that you would notice that much. It's still a very sporty suspension, but I mean, you can drive this car for a few hours and not feel the pain. And the other thing it has is a lift mechanism for the front. So when you go into negotiate a curb or get into a garage, you can do that. I'm gonna show you a video of how that works, which I think is a fantastic feature. So the number five thing I like the most about the car is how people react to it. Everywhere I take it, either cars and coffee or car shows, people want to take pictures. I let the kids get in the car so I can take pictures of them. And people appreciate the design. Obviously the doors, the Lambo doors are a big part of it, and it grabs attention, I get that. But as I'm driving on the freeway, people, cars get close by, I see people taking pictures and saying hi. So I appreciate that other people appreciate what I like about the car. It looks great, and it's stunning. So that's the number five thing I like the most about this car. Alright guys, so if I were to talk about the things that I dislike about the car, the number one thing would be the fear of the unknown. I'm gonna call it that way. And this is an issue with McLaren owners and other supercar brands too, right? But these codes that you see sometimes, there's some electronic gremlins with the car. This car is like a computer on wheels, right? And sometimes you get this fault code or this light that comes up and then you think it's catastrophic. I had one recently where it gave me a check engine light, and it was an evaporator sensor. I researched that over the groups on the internet, and I learned that these cars don't like when you top up the gas on the gas tank like most people do. And somebody said just run the car, deplete the gas tank, and it will be fine. And I did, and I used my OBD sensor, and and don't tell anybody where I cleared the code knowing what it was. But again, every time you turn on the car, you think something will happen or something will come up. I don't like that sensation of uncertainty, if I'm honest, because obviously every time you go to the manual, it says take the car to the dealership as soon as possible, and sometimes it's not necessary. So it's great to go into these online groups and check out answers from other owners and troubleshoot that if you can. And I'm sure there will be times when you can't help it but to take it to the dealership. But I would think that's the number one thing I dislike about the car, is that uncertainty. Alright, so the second thing I dislike about the McLaren 570 GT will be the sound of the exhaust. And well, let me clarify that. I like it, but I don't love it. And the problem is that I come from having a Jaguar F-Type R just before this car, and that Jaguar has probably the best sounding exhaust of any stock car at the moment, and I got used to it. I mean, it was tremendous. And again, this one has the sport exhaust that the previous owner configured as part of his spec, and it's decent. There are some third-party solutions out there, some people that make exhaust for this car, and I've seen the videos and I've heard the recordings and they sound tremendous. So I don't know, that might be an upgrade for the future. I might consider that, and tell me what you think about it. Put it in the comments down below. Again, it makes decent sound. I'm gonna try to record it with my GoPro so that you can see how it sounds. Let's check it out. Alright guys, so the third thing I like the least about my McLaren is the fact that I don't have access to the engine bay, the engine compartment. There's no way to open that lid. As you can see the engine from the grill up here, right? And I wish I could be able to access it, but I can't. And that's because I have additional storage area here, like I showed you before, which is, you know, it's a drawback with this model. It's something that in the 570S you can open it, but then you don't have the storage area. So yeah, I can't complain too much, but obviously I wish I was able to have access to the engine. So the fourth thing I don't like about my McLaren is the infamous McLaren depreciation. That's something that every McLaren owner has to go through. Is something you know when you buy a car like this. I'm lucky in a way that I bought it with a few years of use, and you know, it was already depreciated. So there's a big however, and the big however is that because of the pandemic and the bubble around, you know, cars and the car market, this one has gained value over the last year. So if I were to sell it now, I would actually make money. That would make me probably the only McLaren owner that will make money on reselling his car, other than the very exotic P1s and so on. So, but yeah, one has to deal with that. It's not something I like. But I do believe that this is probably one of the last great twin turbo V8 cars. So there's an argument to say that this car should gain value because of the styling and because of the performance and the fact that we're going EV soon, and every new car will be hybrid or electric, and this is going to be one of the last good ones. So anyway, so yeah, it's something I don't like, but there's a caveat there somewhere. So the number 5 thing I dislike about the car is still an unknown, because it has to do with the maintenance. I haven't done it yet. I haven't taken it to the dealership. I don't know how much it's gonna cost. That's a big unknown. I have warranty. I bought extended warranty for the car, so hopefully that will help. But I have to ship it to the place. It's like 2.5 hours away, so that's not gonna be too convenient for me. So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna do an update video to this video as soon as that happens, and I'll let you know exactly how the experience is. It's a big question that everyone asks me about when they try to buy a car like this against maybe some of the other supercars, and I have the question mark in my head. So as soon as I know, I'll let you know. Let's leave that for an update video coming soon. So those are the top 5 things I like about the car and the 5 things that I dislike. I've done this kind of video with my other cars, but this one is different. I want to take you through the experience of owning a supercar like this McLaren, and I'm gonna be doing an update to this video probably in about 6 months, to let you know if something changed, if something got worse, or if I'm still enjoying it like I am enjoying it now. I love the car. I'm in love with the car. It's probably the best car I've ever owned, and I'm very happy with it. So until then, remember to subscribe, and thank you for following us on social media. I appreciate your sponsorship and your viewership, and I'll see you around again soon. Take care.